Now with a look at what stories are making the headlines this Sunday, it's the very latest ITV News.
Attempts to sabotage the Three Lions World Cup dream. Fireworks, a full band and flares were set off by Mexico fans to try and disrupt the England team's sleep. We're live in Mexico City with just hours to go before the massive World Cup clash. Also tonight, Iran's faithful and its top commanders mourn their assassinated former supreme leader. More questions for Nigel Farage after failing to declare financial perks received from a convicted fraudster. Farage denies breaking any rules. Plus,
the American dream is back.
Happy birthday, USA. The country celebrates turning 250. And
this is ITV News with Lucy Watson.
good evening. If playing at high altitude in front of a hostile crowd wasn't enough, England's footballers have had to deal with disrupted sleep ahead of tonight's World Cup last 16 match against Mexico. Riot police were forced to guard the Three Lions Hotel as rowdy home supporters set off fireworks and flares outside, trying anything to disturb Mexico's opponents. The match kicks off in just over 6 hours' time, 1 a.m. UK time. But as our sports editor Steve Scott reports from Mexico City, we've already witnessed plenty of foul play.
The type of welcome you really don't want in the early hours ahead of such a big match. Dozens of riot police in lines, keeping the crowd from surging closer to England's hotel. If you want to understand just what football means to Mexico, this was the queue for the fan park this morning. A full 9 hours before kick-off.
I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime. I think we're going to do them 3-0. I know they've got a good record at the Azteca, but who they play? No, I'm confident.
This is our hardest. Win this, then I think we beat Brazil and Miami, and I think we beat Argentina. I think this is our hardest test.
The odds are stacked against England, altitude and a huge home crowd, just 2 challenges ahead. Thomas Tuchel is under no illusion that England's patience will be tested from the moment they wake.
Let's see what happens in traffic and in noise outside the stadium, and how long we have to go through passport controls, and whatever tricks they have up their sleeves. I expect the worst. I expect everything, every trick. So we have seen it all, come on, and once we're in the stadium, we're good. That's where we feel most comfortable.
Almost exactly 24 hours before today's kickoff, this was downtown Mexico City. There are thunderstorms forecast for later here, which could disrupt the game. England have never beaten Mexico in the Azteca Stadium, so are genuinely playing for a place in footballing history. The players are relishing the occasion.
In a World Cup in Mexico against Mexico, I don't think anything compares with that, so that's why it's such a big game and such a special game to be involved in.
Mexico have played all their games at home so far. The advantage is theirs. It will take England at their best to stop them in their tracks. The prize today, a World Cup quarter-final in Miami.
And Steve joins us from Mexico City. Steve, a bumpy night for the Three Lions, but what's the general feeling in the England camp? Can they do it?
Well, yes, of course they can, but it's going to be tough. Word from inside the England camp this morning was, by the way, that they slept like babies. But Mexico are ranked 10th in the world to England's 4th, the highest ranked team that England have faced so far in this tournament. And Mexico have yet to concede a goal here. Their record at the Azteca is outstanding. They haven't been beaten in their last 39 consecutive games. And in fact, they've only been beaten there twice since it was built in 1966. So that is some record to come against. Altitude, they're already acclimatised. They've been based in Mexico ever since this tournament started, so that's not going to be a problem for them. 3 of their previous games here have been played at the Azteca. So I think England are going to have to think about their tactics today, they're probably going to have to play in a very different way. Objective observers will say to you, well, of course, man for man, England are the better team. But of course, there are so many other things at play here today.
Steve, we shall see. Enjoy. To Iran now, where a week of mass funeral processions for the assassinated former Ayatollah Ali Khamenei have been marked by huge crowds and growing calls for the death of President Trump. Also notable has been the continued absence of Khamenei's son, the country's new supreme leader. From Tehran, our international editor Emma Murphy reports.
They had promised vast scale, and today the faithful of the Islamic Republic gathered en masse. Out in force too, the high command of the Islamic Republic, gathering publicly to honour the late Ayatollah despite the ever-present threats to their lives from Israel and the United States. At prayers today, 3 of Ayatollah Khamenei's 4 sons, but notable by his absence, his son Moshtaba, the new Ayatollah who's not been seen since his father's death. These ceremonies were always going to be a demonstration of respect for the lost leader, but also a defiant message to those who killed him. Today, the head of Iran's Republican Guard appeared with the crowds to offer his prayers, despite the Israeli bounty on his head. Major General Ahmed Vahidi's presence is a sign of growing confidence within the leadership.
The Islamic Republic have wanted to use this moment as a show of strength, and this is surely it. In this crowd behind me, the head of the IRGC, here in a public place for one of the first times since the war. Amid the clamour, those around him urged revenge. These vast crowds are made up of those whose loyalty lies with the state. They do not represent all Iranians, but those present are vocal in their anger. This man told me there will be no peace for Israel or America after the death of the second leader of the Islamic Republic, amid the now familiar chants of death to America. This is the very front of the crowd. The coffins are just over there. It's very difficult to give a sense of scale because this area is so big. But what I can say is that yesterday when we came, the crowds were significant. Today, they are far, far greater. That official funeral will take place tomorrow, allowing another opportunity for those who continue his legacy to remind that though he is gone, they remain. Emma Murphy, ITV News, Tehran.
Reform UK has once again denied fresh allegations its leader Nigel Farage may have broken parliamentary rules. It's after reports the MP failed to declare financial benefits received from a convicted fraudster. Well, Philip Syme is here with me now. Phil, tell us a bit more about this. What exactly were these perks?
Yes, well, this is about financial support which Nigel Farage received, but which he didn't register. Support from this man, George Cottrell. He is a 32-year-old cryptocurrency entrepreneur and long-time ally of Nigel Farage. He's also previously been jailed in the US after pleading guilty to wire fraud. Now, the Sunday Times claims that in the 12 months before Farage became an MP, Cottrell was helping him, paying for staff, paying for security, and even letting Farage stay at a 5-storey townhouse near Buckingham Palace. Now, parliamentary rules state that new MPs must declare gifts they got in the 12 months before they became an MP, with the exception, though, of gifts which are described as purely personal, and that appears to be Reform UK's defence in this case. They insist no rules have been broken.
You're allowed to accept a gift, support, whatever you want to call it, from a personal friend before you're a member of Parliament, if it's in a purely personal capacity. So there is absolutely nothing to see in this story.
Well, Nigel Farage is, of course, already facing an investigation into an unregistered £5 million gift from a crypto billionaire. He denies any wrongdoing in that case too. But this story will lead to a renewed focus on Farage's finances, and with it, calls for that investigation to be widened.
Philip, thank you. Not even the extreme weather could dampen spirits in the US overnight as the country celebrated 250 years of independence with hot dog eating contests, fireworks and a rally from President Trump. Addressing crowds in Washington, D.C., he said the American dream is back and the USA is stronger, freer, richer and safer than ever before. But as Cafo Pata reports, this moment of unity for some comes at a time of deep division for others.
250 years of the land of the free, the home of the brave, and who better to mark this historic anniversary than the 47th president, always on hand to critique his critics.
Communism is a loser, and it always will be. We are made of the courage and the fire and the flesh and the blood of the best and the bravest people this world has ever produced.
Amidst the star-studded celebrations, a moment to honor American heroes, high praise given to US veterans, and a special flag for the Artemis II crew.
Artemis, you know the crew, everybody.
Despite the good vibes here, these celebrations come at a time when the US has never been more polarized since the 1960s. An example of such disagreements can be found in conflicting views of crowd sizes. Last week, Trump claimed that a crowd of 45,000 were at the Great American State Fair in Washington. But other US broadcasters beg to differ.
Of course, for a president who is often fixated on crowd sizes, he was frustrated by the low turnout last week.
Putting aside debates and past bats, a birthday present from the US's allies across the pond. Well wishes from the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and the UK's own Red Arrows pumped fumes of the Union Jack and the US flag above New York City.
Looking out to my right as we flew down with our red, white and blue smoke on, portraying the American flag, was a pretty special moment. I don't think I'll ever get to do that ever again.
As the big birthday bash comes to an end, who knows what the future holds for this foundling nation?
The American dream is back.
And if those great American dreams will ever become reality. Kath Epata, ITV News.
Sport now, and in Formula One it was Charles Leclerc who won the British Grand Prix. Hopes had been high for a home win for Lewis Hamilton, who's won the race 9 times before. The 41-year-old did finish on the podium though, in 3rd place. There was disappointment for England supporters in today's first winner-takes-all World Cup match. The women's T20 cricket team were beaten by Australia in the final. Ross Arnott was watching.
Another chapter in one of the sport's oldest rivalries. England's women in a T20 World Cup final for the first time in 8 years. On paper, they were evenly matched with opponents Australia. Both sides unbeaten records in this World Cup on the line. Both sides within touching distance of glory at Lord's. Forced to bat first, England lost a wicket. They posted a strong final total of 1.